Hi, this is Mark Littleton, the minister of the Word for the Athens Church of Christ, with today's 3-minute sermon. We've been looking at 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 and following, where Paul tells us about love. And he describes love as things that we do. Things like love is patient and love is kind, he says in verse 4. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. Interesting. He doesn't describe love primarily as an emotion or as a feeling. He describes it as something that we do. He describes it as an action. I want to wrap up our look at this text today by having you look with me at what he says in verse 7 about what love does. He says, love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. There's one word in that verse that ought to jump out at you as you hear me read it or as you look at your text and read it, and that's the word always. It's found repeatedly, isn't it? Maybe in your translation, it says, love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. And the repetition there is the word all things, always, all things. Do you see the point Paul is making about love? He's just saying love has a certain tenacity to it. Love doesn't give up easily. Love doesn't just quit, but it just keeps on going. So here's my challenge to you and to myself today. As we think about loving other people, sometimes that can get a little bit challenging, right? Sometimes people aren't all that easy to love. Love them anyway. Don't have the kind of love that just quits and gives up so easily. Have a love that always hopes, always trusts, always perseveres, and that just hangs in there. I think that's why Paul wraps up this section in the next verse by saying, love never fails. It just keeps on going. That's the kind of love I want to have. And I hope that's the kind of love you want to have toward others as well. It's the kind of love Jesus has for us. He would look at a sinful world. He would look at sinful people like you and me. And he would send his son, God would, to die for our sins in our place because he loves. He had a love that would not quit. And I pray today that's the kind of love we have for other people. Lord willing, we'll see you again tomorrow for another 3-minute sermon. God bless.